What does Katsu wear at Oktoberfest? Mask of the Sausage Links. Fresh and Buds now.
Fresh and
All right, folks, welcome back to yet another episode of Fresh and Buds. I'm your host, Tommy Fresh, and you are all my buds. It is episode 230. What is this? A dentist appointment? I am so happy to bring back. I could probably use one. But that is TMI, folks. We are back with Taylor Morrow of the Attack Action Podcast. Fun fact, our first ever guest on the show. And as I said on his show this week, there'd be no Fresh and Buds without Taylor Morrow. How's it going, my friend? Welcome back to the show. I missed you.
Hello, I missed you too. It has been 2 days since we have been on a video call in front of our microphones. I'm doing good. Just a real busy day. Challenging emotionally work day. I work with kids. I work with their trauma. So I learned some new stuff and I was just like, that's really hard. But thankfully I had therapy. So then I talked about it in therapy and other stuff. And so I'm feeling a little lighter, you know, I feel like I got some tools. So, yeah, overall, I'm doing great.
Awesome. Little do the listeners know, I require all my guests to go to therapy before coming on the show.
Yeah.
So that I can undo all of the work that they just did. Because, you know, I'm toxic. But I'm happy to have you here. Was looking forward to starting the year fresh with you. Talking a little bit about the meta from the RTN season. And then there was a specific hero that did well in week 1 that I'm like, wow, I know just the person to talk to about that. And that is Taylor Morrow. We're going to be talking a little bit about Arakni Huntsman. So excited to do that as well. But before we do that, Tech Action Podcast. I was just on it by the time this comes out.
They're, I think,
around the same
coming
time.
out the same day. Maybe the same day.
So queue them both up. Choose the order. Doesn't matter. They are non-linear. But how's the show going? You know, longest standing podcast in the game of Flesh and Blood. And, you know, just a barrel of laughs over there. You know, we started this week's episode talking a lot about a hockey show. I don't think we're going to do that this episode here because you can go listen to that at Attack Action Podcast. How's it going? How you feeling about the podcast? How you feeling about the Flesh and Blood podcast world?
Feels pretty stable. Flesh and Blood podcast world feels stable. We got our shows. They're still going, you know. Yeah. You know, I listen to some of them. Some of them I don't listen to. You know, I got to listen to other stuff, really. So my own podcast is going good. Thank you for jumping in and guesting again on the podcast. You're easily the person we've had on the most times who's not a core member. You're like our fun cousin who comes over to visit sometimes, you know?
Yeah. The cousins, like, is he our cousin? Or, you know,
he's like definitely in the family for sure. I think,
you know, it's like he's our uncle, but he's not Dad's brother. Like, what is going on?
Yeah. As you start to understand how family works, So the podcast is going good. That was our first episode of the new year. You know, took a little break like we usually do. We did our live episode, which was pretty fun. Go check that out. You know, we have a whole year's worth of back catalog stuff. So, check it out if you haven't. And for those of you who are cross pollinators, our little, our Attaction Buds bees, who listen to both of our shows, you guys are having a great day.
Yeah, it's It's going to be a banger of a Thursday, I'll tell you that much. But I love it over there. I love guesting. Thank you for having me. But
dude,
you had a pretty good year of playing Flesh and Blood in 2025. Now we are at the beginning of a new year. What are your plans for playing? We're in RTN season. How many are getting out to? What else do you want to get out to? Las Vegas is pretty closer to where you live than something like Minneapolis or Philadelphia or Guadalajara, wherever else they do events. What's the plans?
Well, it kind of, so going to an RTN this weekend. So, if you're, gearing up in the Bay Area, I'll be there. The great city of San Francisco. Make sure you say hi. I will definitely say hi back. And then, so it's a twofer weekend. So it's a 5-hour trip to get down there for us. So we like to do a twofer. So we'll do Saturday, Sunday, drive back Sunday. And then we'll kind of game plan from there. There's like a Battle Hardened in Portland coming up, and that's like almost worth it to drive to. Could do an RTN, etc. It's kind of a weird season. It feels like there's not as many as there normally are. Like usually it's like, oh yeah, every weekend there's 2, but it's not, that's not the case. So I might only do this weekend. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Obviously, if I qualify, pressure's off. I don't have to go anywhere. If I don't qualify, we'll have to reconvene. And then I'm just kind of waiting for this pay period to be over for all of our like sick leave and PTO to be over. And this is a new job, so I don't know how much PTO I get. So I'm kind of like in this holding pattern to kind of figure out what my year can look like then, Flesh and Blood wise. I was planning on going to Japan because I have a PTI, but then I was like, right, I can't make those plans because what if I actually don't have that much? Like, I don't know why. I'm like, I can't find this in the handbook somewhere, and it's so close to the time. I'm like, I'm not gonna ask my boss. I gotta have it anyway to schedule it. So anyway, some stuff is up in the air, but things like Pro Tour Vegas makes it super easy to go to. And this is the first year in since 2011 I'm not really coaching basketball, at like a really intense level. I'm going to do like 3rd and 4th graders at the end of the month. And it's like one day a week. You know what I mean?
That's not bad.
Not bad at all. Pretty easy. So I actually have gotten to play a lot more. Like I went to Seattle recently and stuff. And then the rest of my year, I can play so much more. And I'm actually participating in Road to Nationals this year. I feel like before I haven't done that in a while. So that's cool. I'm excited to play. I'm getting to play more. It's kind of up in the air if I'm going to go to San Diego or not. It's like weirdly hard to get to, even though it's in the same state, because it's like I don't have a direct flight locally. So then I have to go to like San Francisco, and then it's like kind of weirdly expensive. I think because it's on Valentine's Day,
and
like
Super Bowl Sunday, which I think is in San Francisco that year or this year.
Yeah.
It's a busy weekend.
So I'm I'm like $300 for a freaking flight to fucking San Diego. This is stupid. Anyway.
Yeah. It's funny, like years and years and years, like friends would be, because I'm on the East Coast, would be like, oh, we should go to Comic-Con at some point, yada, yada, yada. But like San Diego always was super expensive. Like it was almost always more worth it to fly into LA if we wanted to go. And then it just like ends up being the same cost anyway, because you have to rent a car, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah,
is a smaller airport?
Drive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Me neither. But that sounds fun. RTN season's cool. I am planning on doing 2, but I just got asked to work during one of them, so it might just be one, which stinks. But there wasn't as many as normal. Like you said, I'm going to Columbus, which would be cool.
Yeah.
You know, and I'll just spike that, and then we're just good
No
for
problem.
the year.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this year. Now, looking ahead at Compendium of Wraith, right? What do you expect from this set? Because you've been playing this game, correct me if I'm wrong, since at least Crucible.
Right before.
Yeah.
Right before. So, yeah.
You will have
I can't remember.
experienced all the supplemental sets.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely. And I forget how many months, really. It's been long enough now, but yeah, we were like solidly into the game by the time Crucible came out. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like release of Arcane Rising, but it wasn't shortly after all of that. You know what I mean? I think it was still in 2020. Anyway, because Crucible comes out 2021, right? Or 2020?
Yeah, it might have been 2020 or like beginning of 2021, towards the end of 2020. I forget.
Anyway,
Yeah.
you're correct. I've been here a very long time. And I mean, I can, it might be episode 3 of the podcast. We tried to figure out a way to draft Crucible, or some shit. I forget what we did. But it's detailed in a ancient podcast done in somebody's living room with one microphone. So you can go check that out. Yeah, if you want to, what we did for that to try to play with the packs. So yeah, been around a long time. What do I expect from Pen? Well, I don't know really. Like it could be the best set, or it could be like the friggin' worst, Crucible was really great because it was clear that they had made the majority of those 3 sets together, right?
Yeah.
Or like had done a lot of the work, at least knew what Crucible was going to be. And so it was a really tight set, and there were only 8 heroes, 8 classes, so it made it like a little easier. You got like, and then they made young heroes and stuff, so that was like kind of fun. And then I mean iconic heroes too.
Yeah.
Like Cavdane, Trader of Skins.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, there's whole channels dedicated to Cavdane.
That's true. And then then we have Everfest, and we have Dusk Till Dawn, and maybe in Dynasty, and what happens is it's like it feels like half bangers only. It's so good. You're like, this is awesome. And then the other half, if they came up in a quiz, some of those cards, you wouldn't be able to know what they were. You're like, that's a card. I didn't even know that. You know what I mean? So that has happened. And there's always been extra heroes in every supplemental set. So is LSS going to follow all of those formats, right?
Yeah.
Are they going to like have just the Majestics are so good, and then commons and rares are pretty unplayable, Like they did all these blessings. Like every class got a blessing. Nobody plays those.
Well,
you know what I mean?
The Rune Chant one saw play.
Oh yeah. That one saw some play, but yeah. Or there's like a crap ton of illusionist cards that like nobody plays, as well and stuff. So there's like all that stuff, like bad beats, right? Does anybody play bad beats?
I've put it in a deck before, but I regretted it.
Yeah, it's because you're a sicko.
Yeah, I
am. But then like all the heroes have been cool,
Yeah.
Like have they been powerful? Yes and no, Starvo.
Pretty
Game
powerful.
Defining, right? We still talk about him all the time. Huntsman, super underpowered. maybe even still a little underpowered even now. Vincent underpowered, but still cool, So
Mhm.
we'll see if they put another hero in there or not.
Yeah, I saw some chatter today about adult Blaze and adult Terra. Kind of being, I
Yeah.
think like what I think some art has said. Shout out to Deathnor in the Buds chat was talking about that. Some of the arts kind of leaning towards that. It would make sense, right? I think we talked about it on your podcast. Did they have the foresight that Kano was going away, and then they wanted to bring Blaze to the main stage? Terra, yeah, I think Terra entering CC would be fine, right? I think like Guardians like they're like in a weird spot, but potentially
They have
powerful.
so many heroes. They have the
Mm-hmm.
most heroes,
Yeah,
nine or whatever. It's crazy.
yeah, and like Starvo and Oldham were the two strongest. I mean, like for a minute there, Bravo had some times that were good, but not great.
Yeah. In like Monarch, Bravo was like the third, maybe fourth best deck, People were playing Bravo at the Calling Vegas.
Yeah. And I even remember right before Icelander went, there was like fatigue Bravo lists and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, competitive Wraith, cool stuff. I was just talking about it on the Patreon podcast for those who are
Oh, nice.
interested.
Hell
That
yeah.
it is a little, it would have been nice to get some more spoilers, but maybe this weekend I think there's a stream. But we don't know because we're living in the past because we're recording this before that stream. That's
Really.
how.
They really got to drip more of these sets to us when, like, this is the perfect time. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they probably, LSS, I would say, more likely for some reason listens to your podcast than my podcast. So this is my critique and want. We give us a little bit more spoilers. Drip them out here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Just post them on your socials.
Yeah. Why not? Right? Like,
Yeah.
I understand like they're showing us the reprints, which is like exciting, right? Reprints are exciting, but it's not like ooh, it's more like, oh nice, finally get some reprints. It's more, we want more of that. I want to build with this thing,
Yeah. I want it to consume my uh quiet time. You know what I mean? When I'm just like, my brain wanders, all of a sudden I'm thinking about that spoiler, That's what I want. Like, it would have been more fun, in my opinion, if those reprints were discoveries. Like, hey, look,
Yeah, yeah.
Crown of Providence is in here. Look at this sick art, That would be way cooler than it being marketed as, oh yeah, then we're gonna have some spoilers here. And it's like, well, this is not really a spoiler.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Mm-hmm.
This is a
It's
reprint.
not. Yeah, it's not new and exciting. It's just, I guess, exciting for some, right? Like it makes sense.
Yeah.
There's so many people that are just getting into the game. They're gonna need access to that stuff. But
Mhm.
yeah, show us the new stuff.
Yeah.
The new
Which
Riptide
I'm not saying,
specialization.
hey,
That won't be
Arachne could
good.
use one. Arachne could use one too. Uh, it's not for, like, I don't think those cards aren't needed. It's just
Mhm.
like, are those good things to market get us excited about?
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly.
I don't think so. You know,
Yeah,
I don't think so.
yeah.
Yeah.
But moving on, we got to get
Moving on.
excited about RTN season. We already talked a little bit about it.
Ooh.
What a meta. Some people are calling it the widest meta of all time. All right, getting right into it. Top of the meta, yet again. Gravy Bones, back with a vengeance, back from the dead. Never quite dead, actually. With
There you
13
go.
wins, 17% of the lion's share of wins this weekend, which is, I think, expected, but not I guess maybe not what they wanted, but maybe chart the high seas. Maybe it just wasn't even that good to begin with. It's like one of those things. Like, did it just make the deck more consistent, right? But it doesn't seem like it's overwhelming. After that, the top 4 we'll talk about real quick: Gravy, Arachne Marionette, Kasai of the Golden Sand, and Verdant's Thorn of the Rose. So Gravy had 13 wins, and those other 3 heroes had 8 wins, all having double-digit percentage share of the meta win pie this weekend. What are your thoughts here? Is this what you expected? 2, actually, you know what? 3 of those 4 heroes got hit by the most recent bans.
Yeah, I mean, it's so for all 3 of those heroes, Gravy, Arachne, and Verdance, like they still, like their game plan has changed very little. Maybe Marionette just flicks knives a little bit less and gets a graphene, like that play pattern is not there as much. So maybe you fill that with attacks that still have like an on hit, etc. It doesn't change it fundamentally in terms of its like power level. You know what I mean? And Verdant still just does the same thing. Like it has gigantic single card turns that either disrupt you or just chip in damage. And then if, you're low enough, they kill you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And if you're slow enough, they combo you and kill you a little earlier.
Yeah. Yes.
And then, yeah, Gravy, I mean, is just good, right? Like when you keep a dude on the board, it's always good because it's like gaining health and dealing damage at the same time. You know what I mean?
It really is.
And it could be like a whole bunch of health. Like if you have to attack Rigor Mortis with 3 or 4 damage, right? That might as well be health you gained.
Yeah, it really is. And it's kind of funny. Like I think I've always kind of been in the mindset that Gravy's not like busted, right? Like I think has moments within its game plan that feel pretty busted where they're doing things and like popping so much gold. I mean, at this point, right, like the gold generation isn't as easy, so it feels a little bit more down to earth. And the ally based, like the board presence based heroes are just interesting. I don't know if it's possible to make them truly balanced where they're either like not busted or not really good or not really bad, because they're just operating on a different axis than the rest of the game, right? Like the only other hero that I can think of that's really operating on a equal but different axis of the game is like Kano, which is gone now, right? Like it was just doing something that nobody else was doing. I'm interested. I played today a game of Silver Age against Dromine. I forgot,
Dragons have Phantasm.
Dragons have Phantasm, but they also just like got automatic go again. You're like, oh. And like, it was like they attack for free. And
yeah.
But
even so though, I still think the crew, the Gravy Boat crew, is a little too tuned.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they have a little bit too much value and synergy with one another. That is just harder to deal with, even though you have this whole side quest you got to do to get them out there and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Like I would do that shit too if my freaking ally swung for 6. You know what I mean? Of course. Of course I want this thing out here that's going to attack for 6 damage. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That would be awesome.
That, like, it puts your opponent in this weird situation where it's like, sometimes it's always correct to attack them and sometimes it's always correct to not attack them. And then sometimes you just can't tell, right? Like, you got to make the gamble, which is, like, the toughest part about it. Now...
the last little thing I'll say about allies is I think that the Figments and the Angels are a really good way You know, that was a good. I like that design
Yeah.
because of the tension it brings to then the game, and then you as the player. Like you can still attack them, but you also could threaten enough damage to just kind of get rid of them in that way. And kind of the same thing with Enigma, right? I didn't mind Enigma's board presence because of the same kind of questions they ask. It's a better puzzle,
Yeah.
you know, to try to figure out between the players. That dance is more enjoyable than just having like a freaking idiot on the board who's all dead and stuff.
Yeah.
You
Or a
dummy, you're
dragon.
dead already. Yeah, or a dragon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think I've mentioned on the pod before, but it is so funny. At one point, we just like had this meta that was kind of maybe not ruled, but felt like it was ruled by Enigma, kind of shaped how everybody had to build their decks. And then it LLs, and then we get the Rock Hero, which would have just rocked Enigma's world.
Oh, it would have been so good to just be like goosh, goosh. You know what I mean? Every turn. It would have felt so awesome.
Oh yeah, man. That was god. I mean, maybe now wait, you can't even do that in Silver Age or anything like that, but we can dream.
Mhm.
Now looking at the rest, there's a lot more heroes that won this weekend. Dash.io was the next highest at 6, which, probably the premier aggro deck at this point, right? I think maybe you can consider Kasai a little aggro, but Dash is definitively aggro. And then Florian won 4, which shocks me, to be honest, because I thought that Florian's game plan was really going to be hindered by the Rootbound Carapace ban. But I guess maybe, I don't know what those lists were like. Maybe they were a little bit more aggressive. You got, a hero that won 3, Arakni Huntsman. We'll be talking about that in a little bit, folks. Just a little bit of a spoiler alert. That's pretty interesting. Fang, I would have expected to see some Fangs like there. Jarl won, KO Armed and Dangerous, Acilio, Prism, Syndra, Rhinar, Victor, Dorinthia, Ira, RKO, Pallades won 1, Riptide, shout out, and then Valda and Vincent. So like a nice spread. I would say outside like the top, like it's not too top heavy either, I don't think. What do you make of that spread?
It feels like pretty classic RTNs, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like the they're smaller, they're local metas, you don't have all of the data. I think the winning of stuff sometimes feels like a misnomer. Like it's one of my critiques, and we've talked about it on our podcast, is that we only celebrate the person who wins the event. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we don't really get to see data or even celebrations. Top 8, sure, but then like what's 9, 10, 11? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's stories there and information that you could glean. You know what I mean? Like, all right, so Gravy won 13, but then like how many Syndras weirdly bubbled at 9th or something like that? You know what I mean? So it's like, what's the actual representation at all of these things? You know what I mean? And so I get a little weary of this data because it's like, who thinks about it? How many people think about it in this way? Does the average person just go, okay, Gravy won, I expect to see Gravy, so then I'll bring Dorinthia because they just freaking dumpster on Gravy. You know what I mean? Or what? You know what I mean? So I don't know what like the regular, not the person who like plays the game but doesn't listen to any of the podcasts but does follow Flesh and Blood Twitter, but then doesn't also engage in the conversation. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because I mean, even the top 4, they're all qualified, right?
Yeah. What's the top 4 data?
Yeah. The top 4 data would be pretty good to see. Because like, at that point, right, once you get into the top 4, the mentality changes. Like, not entirely. People do want to win the gold foil or whatever.
Yeah.
But whenever I've top 4 to RTN, I'm just like, I made it.
I did
like
it. Yeah,
I get a little loosey goosey. I'm like, whatever. I misplayed. Who cares? So, and that's just me. I know some people will take it seriously throughout, but this is just basically telling us who got the LL points, right? And
yeah,
I'm sure LSS has all the data, and with all that data usually explains why they make the certain decisions they make, especially in the banned and restricted announcements. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, like, the biggest question I have is will actually be answered, I think, after week 2. If it starts to look the same, you're like, okay, I mean, maybe it is just this good right now, which I think would be neat. Now, let's talk about your fresh faves from a little set I like to call Super Slam. Come on down to the fresh faves corner, Taylor Morrow.
I should have done my homework. It's
okay. It's all right. You know what? You're a teacher. You just grade the homework, my friend.
Which is worse than doing the homework.
Yeah. I mean, if I was a teacher, and this is like coming from somebody who was not a good student, I would just be like, looks good. See you later.
Look, that's the secret is you start to grade and you triage it very quickly. Did this kid put in effort? Okay, good. I'll give them effort. Did they not put in effort? All right, 0 effort given by me because it's a two-way street. Yeah. So that's the secret.
That is the secret. And we need to reveal some secrets from you, which are your favorite cards from Super Slam, the premier third set of 2025. And this will be probably one of the last Super Slam fresh faves before we get to Compendium of Wraith. Who was your favorite hero from the set that was wrestling themed but not at all?
Yeah. Weird set. Tough Nut. I think Tough Nut's my favorite. I think it's pretty fun to play Pleiades, but just like there's something friendly, something cozy, something relaxing about being like, I only got 3 cards. All I got to do is get a toughness, and then I'm going to pitch the top card of my deck and attack. Pretty simple.
Pretty nice.
I can pitch stack, so I then wind up with some go-agains into some other stuff because I'm going to have a high life total. This is pretty nice. So, yeah. I mean, maybe it's just because I'm in a cozy mood. Got this new fleece crew. That's very kind of a weird color. It looked like a different color online and then showed up. And I was like, all right, we're going to this anyway. So I'm cozy. I'm feeling cozy. And Tough Nut's cozy.
In a lot of ways, that's a lot like Tough Nut. What you just said. Sometimes you activate his ability expecting one color. And guess what? It's not that. It's not that one. And you're like, all right, Pastor, it's all you.
Yep.
But great answer. Love Tough Nut. Now, there are no weapons in this set.
Correct.
With Tough Nut, what are you rocking it? Are you clubbing it? Are you going crazy doing some claws?
That is pretty crazy. Okay. I think club is superior and club is cool, but rock is way cooler, and for a set that came out and it was just all vibes, rock is the choice because it's all vibes. Sure, there's this guy at Seattle, or this person at Seattle, and I think it was Seattle. It must have been. And they had 3D printed rock as a deck box.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was incredible. So it came in half and you could put your tokens in there and your dice and your cards and stuff. And I just thought this whole time that they had just 3D printed like a buddy to sit there next to the playmat. I was like, that's so cool to have rock as your totem. Because sometimes you see that at Pokemon tournaments. People have like their favorite Pokemon buddies like with them or whatever. And then they like took it apart and put their cards in it. And I was like, holy fuck, that's awesome.
That is amazing. Holy
Yeah.
smokes. Now, tell me they were playing Tough Nut, because it would be hilarious to like show up with the rock deck box.
Yeah, they're
and
like
be
on gravy.
Yeah, I'm on Syndra, whatever. Just
Slave to the meta. You know what I mean?
you know what I mean?
I have no clue, actually. I couldn't get past that. It's like, because I'm playing Arakni, right? So all of my games go long, so you have to like I got 7 minutes. I'm going to the bathroom. You know what I mean? So I don't have time to gawk.
That is amazing. Yeah, Rock is sick. Rock is sick. I was messing around with a list that was like just all blue spells, basically. Just like you're just like, I'm just running all like blue like cards that draw, like things I can get rid of just in case. And it's people don't like playing against that. I don't think, for the most part.
Playing against rock?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I understand some people think it's not fun, but it is very fun.
No way, it's so fun.
What was your favorite equipment? I was gonna say, what was the coolest equipment? It could be two different answers.
Well, that's true, and I have to look it up. I'm sorry, I can see the art in my head, but I don't know its name because I just did not engage with Super Slam that much. It's one of the generics, so it's going to be on a later page of the thing here. Oh yeah, Helm of Hindsight. It just looked cool,
Yeah.
You got that as a cold foil in your pre-release packs, and it was freaking awesome. That's it.
I think that's
it's just so cool looking.
The second time somebody's answered that one, it was really cool because you could do some cool stuff with the thing that if you clash, like you deal 1 damage, you do like little sneaky stuff like that. That was cool.
Yeah. It's a little tech piece, and it's just great art. Shout out to Tomas.
Thank you.
Who did the art on that? Yeah.
Now we're splitting this now. What is your favorite class and or talent card from the set?
Class and or talent card?
It used to be just your favorite card from the set. Now it's like which is your favorite non-generic, basically.
Non-generic. Probably I don't know. Any of the like Auras of Suspense.
Yeah.
Are really cool. I really loved that. Edge of Your Seat, or no, it's not that one. The Suspense is Killing Me is also great art, great little extra +1, what do you call that? Lunging press, but it's an aura, pretty cool. What happens next though is probably like just the best one to have. You feel so good when you have that out and you're just like, hell yeah, everything's -1 cost. I love this. So
yeah.
Those would be kind of my picks.
Start stacking them. You're like, ooh.
Yeah. Everything's free.
Yeah. I'm playing Ninja. The Goliath one's pretty cool too, with the instant speed.
The one that intimidates.
Yeah. Now, what's your favorite generic card from the set? Bonus points if it blocks 2.
Oh, easy. This is easy. There's a Windmill Slam Overcrowded. So freaking awesome. That's a great card. I love it. Blocks for 2. Sometimes it blocks for 4, though.
Yeah.
Which is so cool.
Oh. You played Codex of Frailty? No, great answer. That card, like, I think probably will be the card that people remember that set the most for, outside of like heroes and stuff like that, because it kind of became a staple, right? You're just like, well, maybe I just want at least one of these in the deck. You know, some decks won 3. Very, very cool. They're clearly going to be focusing on aura tokens like continually. It's a very big part of the game. Every set feels like we get some more. So yeah, great answer.
Yeah,
now,
totally.
the Iron Maiden last week, Abby suggested this category. What was your favorite token from the set?
So what do we got? Toughness,
Mm-hmm.
confidence, might.
Yep.
We got vigor in this too.
Vigor and bait.
Ooh, bait. That's kind of rare. I want to talk to you about that. Okay, by the way, remind me to ask you about that specialization and bait.
Okay.
Token.
You want to do it right after this token talk?
Yeah, after the token talk. I would say toughness tokens are freaking awesome because they stack, and that's really fun.
And they look the coolest.
Yeah, totally. They totally do. Oh, I'm freaking tough. Yeah. I'm green and I'm tough. All green guys are tough.
Yeah, it's sick.
And girls.
And girls, yes. And now, what would you say you are, Taylor? Revered or reviled?
If you'd asked me this a year ago, I would have said revered for sure. But now I think I'm reviled.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. I think it is okay.
Yeah. As long as you like it, I think is important.
I don't know if I like it, but I am accepting of it. I accept who I am now.
I love it.
That's why I go to therapy.
Oh yeah.
Helps me accept myself.
Yeah. That's why.
I know where my growing edges are. Where I need to grow.
Mm-hmm. And I can see it every day with you.
Thanks, Thomas.
No problem. Now, I don't know what you answered last time, but greatest set of all time, in your estimation, is there any update there?
I think I normally say Tales of Aria.
Yeah.
But I think I'm going to we just talked about the sets on the podcast you were on. Shout out to the Attack Action podcast. When Tommy's on, it's Attaction Buds. So I think I will just switch. I don't know. I think Part the Misfail is the greatest set of all time. Those 3 heroes, super fun to play, super meta relevant, super great draft set. They defined the game much in the way that Tales of Aria did for its time. And I just can't really think of a great freaking Marvels in there too. Marvel Chi is just freaking crazy, goes hard. Silver Age playable too. Marvel Chi, which is so fun. So yeah.
All right. I think that's
what I'm going with.
It's pretty valid.
Yeah.
But
Part the Misfail, greatest set of all time.
How about that so far? We're about
till Compendium comes out.
Until Compendium comes out, or Monarch 3. Now, did you want to ask me about the bait token thing?
Yeah, totally. Bait? Okay. Yeah, take the bait. So, have you been playing this card? Does it work? How does it feel? Are you like, okay, cool. This is just like, is planned for the worst of Riptide specialization? Or is that it's
not
Riptide
a spec
coded?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay. So I have been playing it. And
what does it do? What is this doing for Riptide? Tell me what it does.
Well, the best thing it does is it finds something in your deck and puts it on top. That is the best thing it does. Now, what you grab also is the huge thing. I am playing a super tanky mid-range, somewhat control, where you're playing Sandscour Bow, so you go grab Murky Water, throw it on top, throw it into your arsenal, and send in 7 dominate that they can't even use a D-react from arsenal because the bait token prevents that, right? And then they take usually 4-ish damage unless they have a ton of stuff like equipment, and then you get to go get a reaction from your graveyard. Hopefully it's a good one, but either way it will trigger on the bait token. Or sometimes they just pass their turn. They just like attack with the bait token, don't activate it, and you're like, okay, whatever, trench away the thing that I got, and I'm gonna just do my game plan anyway. I like it a lot. I do think it does. What was that?
How effective is that play pattern? You know, is that like really good? You're like, I have now full tempo. My opponent doesn't know how to deal with this bait token, you know, etc. Like, does that like win you the game, or does that just like help you get there and you still have to continue to play? I'm just so this is sorry to qualify this. This is potentially in the realm of Hunter Hunted, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Which is super. It's good, but it's not like you play it and then you win. You know, you have to like play it and still play the game. It's just added to the tools you have.
Yeah. I think a certain kind of build is gonna play it, right? And that's pretty much it. Now, I think like there are moments in like a lot of different builds because like you're almost always playing all 3 blue legendary traps no matter what build of Riptide you're playing. So like if you run take the bait in like your aggro deck, you like can close out a game with it. You're like, okay, you know, we're in this tight game. I'm going to take the bait. I'm going to go grab Spike Pit Trap, and then they're going to be screwed. Because that's the biggest thing. Like, Spike Pit Trap's so powerful when it triggers. It's, like, arguably the most powerful towards the end of the game. So, and, like, you know, Buzzsaw Trap doesn't feel that good against the bait token, but Collapsing Trap does. I think it's good enough. Like, tutors are just good, right? Being able to go grab something is just good. And like the fact that your opponent doesn't know, like if you're not grabbing something that you're going to sand scour, like then they don't know what you grabbed. And like they have no idea what's coming. And it makes their decision on the bait token trigger a lot more interesting. I don't know. I there's things I've been testing with like, okay, take the bait, Codex of Inertia, right? Like, okay, I know exactly what I'm hitting. Boom, boom, boom. That's pretty sick as well. Like, there's just like cool stuff, like top of the deck stuff that happens with the Ranger class that I like. There's a lot of potential with that card. I think Plan for the Worst is a better card though.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Yeah. Toolbox card. Really cool. It is a cool card. It's got great art.
Great art.
As well. Blocks for 3, which is pretty sick.
Yeah.
Is a red though, which is tough.
Is a red.
Is it? So you can't do this as a 1-card hand though. I mean, I guess you could, right? What do you do? What do you do? Do you have to have 4 cards, 2 cards, 3 cards? How do you play this? What does a normal play of this card look like?
With the Sand Scour and like Murky Water play, it's just a blue and take the bait.
Oh.
And then you get like
2 card 7, as we say.
2 card 7 that draws a card because you get a trap from your graveyard.
Yeah.
With like 2 card 7 with Dominate. So
that's pretty good.
I think so.
I think that's good.
Yeah, we need better aim counter payoffs, I think, so that like if it makes more sense to grab something else, that would be cool. But right now, I think that's the best thing you can do. Like if you're running a lot of buffs, you can go grab the thing from the Azalea armory deck, the one that like banishes, like basically intimidates, kind of.
Rain of Stones or whatever it is.
Yeah, Stone Rain.
Stone Rain.
I think maybe.
It's the one with freaking rocks falling from the sky.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I love talking about that card. I think the potential's immense. I don't know if it's clearly not game breaking because we'd be seeing Riptides at the top of every table because that's just how it would go. But I do think it's a
I
powerful.
don't know. Riptide won at RTN.
Very true. Very true. I also
Also
like
underexplored hero.
I think so.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Underexplored hero. So I think. Sorry, I know you were saying something. I'm sorry to cut you off, but I
No,
got to
you're
get on
good.
my soapbox here on somebody else's podcast and say I think that is a weakness in our player base is not exploring heroes.
Yeah,
We don't have enough deck builders.
I
We have
agree.
too many meta followers. Anyway, continue what you were saying.
Yeah, I think to that point, I think that like, even talking to people that I know that like do test Riptide every time like there's a big event, they just don't give it a lot of time because like I can't give this the time because the event's coming up. But the point I was going to say before was like anytime they print something that's good with chain reaction, the yellow trap that lets you flip something in your arsenal if it's a non-attack action, you can play it at instant speed. I think that is really enticing because I think doing that with Take the Bait is really powerful because, chain reaction triggers on a go again, assuming they're going to go again a lot. You're like, okay, well, let me try to end your turn a little bit or like make it a little weird or something like that. Not sure. I guess you can also.
It's weird that it's a non-attack action. It's like if you had Cull, that would be sick.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't get what else you do, It's just like a weird design that nothing has happened with yet.
But anyway, speaking of weird cards, right, and weird heroes.
Whoa.
Arakni Huntsman. Okay. 3 wins. Okay, this is actually, I don't even want to I'm not, we were talking about a little bit earlier with RTN season that we don't really have all the data. We don't really know what it means, but we've never really seen that, right? We've never seen, maybe one Arakni Huntsman won, but 3 is, you got to pay attention to it. And you're someone who's spent a lot of time with that hero. You have that hero on your hand, and it's beautiful.
Boom.
Let's talk about that hero. What do you think?
You got Marvel Codex is also tattooed on the arm.
Oh my god! Why are you so
crazy.
So cool?
It's born this way.
All right, Lady Gaga.
I accept who I am. That's why I'm cool.
All right. Question. Why do you think we got 3 wins there for that hero? What about this meta do you think allowed that to happen? And do you expect it to continue? Because once people see it exist, not only do people start to maybe prepare for it, maybe not. They're probably going to say, it's kind of a fluke. But people also say oh, maybe I should just pull out my Arakni Huntsman deck that I, play at Armory and try it out at a RTN.
Say that question again. I got lost in the sauce there.
Sorry. Why do you think it was able to happen this weekend? 3 Arakni Huntsman wins.
Well, okay. Yeah. I get. Yeah. All right. This is where my head was. Well, so it's like a brand new meta, right?
Yes.
And so potentially things have not been distilled down into knowable factors, and so Huntsman now really takes a little practice to play into, right? So, and you can kind of get there if you have a really strong Guardian player in your meta or something like that, or somebody who just is makes you think about the resources of your deck, right? Mm-hmm. You'll have a little practice of playing against Arakni. But if you don't have that, then you it's just you don't know what the frick you're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Do
Yeah.
I block Graven Call for 2? You don't normally block the daggers, but it's 2. And it's coming at me every turn. Should I block that? I don't know. Okay, I'll block it this turn. Oh, crap. Now I only have 3 cards to block this CNC with, and that's fucked up my turn, you know? Or then you go like, all right, I guess I could like block this with some arm. Like I'll block with Savage Sash and my Scabskin Leathers on this Leave No Witness. They have 1 card in hand. It's probably a D-React. Boom, it's shred. There goes your Savage Sash now for the whole freaking game. And you're like, cool, now I have to play this without that. You know? So those sort of things like add up a lot in the game, you know? So that's definitely, I think, why. And just Arakni Huntsman is now like a solidly powerful-ish hero. You know what I mean? Like they're at that level where they could win an RTN if the meta presents itself. I know Tao Tao qualified in LA and went undefeated in Swiss on a Huntsman list. I know Lucas at St. Louis AGE also top forward on Huntsman as well. So yeah, it's out there. And if you're bringing like another mid-range deck to kind of do the same thing, well, Arakni just kind of does that better.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, it just kind of just does it better because they're constantly asking you for 2 cards. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the cards go flying out of your deck, especially with Hunter Hunted, if the matchup is slow enough.
Now, that's an interesting card because that's definitely the biggest piece as of late added to the mix. And I've been on the receiving end of it. It is brutal.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
You're like, oh no, 4 cards. No.
It was funny because that in Super Slam?
No, it's in High Seas.
Oh, it's in High Seas. But like I was playing a lot of Tough Nut after Super Slam came out, and I just like then playing it, looking at the top, and then going, okay, the Arakni trigger resolves. Let me just activate Tough Nut. But
oh no, it is Super Slam. You're right.
Oh yeah, because like
I thought it was High Seas this whole time. All right. Anyway, continue.
Super cool card.
Mm-hmm.
Like in a matchup, like you said, you got to like worry about resources. All of a sudden, like you don't have a lot of agency over the top of your deck, right? Like as the proactive player in that situation. Like how often would you say in some matchups that could end the game on a really good hit?
Rarely. Very rarely.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, you could get all the fellings, you could get all of the codexes, you could get all of the, I don't know,
Blood Rush Bellow.
You could get all the Blood Rush Bellows, you could get all the chums, you know, you could just like hit something that's important, you know.
Mm-hmm.
You still have to play the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Those are 3 cards, right? And they still have a bunch of other cards that are really good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're a good deck, you don't rely on one set of cards. You know what I mean? Yeah. Now, there are some exceptions to that, like Kasai. If you're running 9 hit and runs, you know, it's pretty brutal when you lose 4 of those. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Or like the times when it's like the best is when, you know, you rip a card from hand or arsenal, something they were saving, either to play on that turn or the next turn. Like that's pretty huge. And that's pretty rare. Like, you know, in my semifinal game at Battle Hardened Sonoma, I hit Ravenous Rabble, and he had Ravenous Rabble in hand. And so that was like, bing, bing, delete that out of your hand. Mask is super not going to trigger now. I can really control this turn and put you in the blender. So that's like really good. But, you know, you still got to play the rest of the game. It doesn't it would be nice if it just won you the game. That would be great. I would love that. Some heroes have that, you know what I mean, in some matchups, but but that is certainly not how good that card is.
Yeah.
It is good, but not that good.
Gotcha. Now, with like that card was like a huge boon to the deck, right? No doubt. Like
Absolutely.
it's a blue anyway, right? Like you're like throwing it in there. You mentioned Gravenclaw, right? This is a card that initially when it came out, people were like, "Oh, that's kind of cool," but then like you didn't really see a lot of it because Arakni Huntsman was not really the deck that was kind of seeing play. What else about this deck is kind of pushing it to be just solid, as you said before? Like it's actually just a solid deck.
So yeah, it's definitely Hunter Hunted is the guarantees you to get silver basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't like, it'll low roll for sure and get you 1, you know what I mean? But it'll get you 2 to 3 basically on average. And now that you have a card, and if you see them early, that's really good, right?
Yeah.
If you see all 3 in that top 25 cards, you're freaking really gaming because you've gotten 2 or 3 silver, that's 6 to 9 silver you've gotten. So that means like you can buy back Mask and Boots and Gravenclaw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Gravenclaw at least once, Boots and Mask, it maybe gives you 6 more health and allows you to get more cards out of their deck, right? It just makes the things go a lot smoother and makes you way more threatening. You know what I mean? You're like, if you're sitting there with 6 silver and you just come in with a Plunder the Poor, it's like, okay, I guess they're going to break Mask on this and take 2 cards out of my deck and deal me 4 damage. And then on the next turn, buy back Mask and block with it and then kind of do that again, right? It can kind of really put you in like make an economy to where it puts you in a really great spot to just like keep that kind of value going.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's like kind of pretty hard to stop in a lot of circumstances unless you just always have the D-React and the Huntsman never has a react on top of that or some way to sidestep, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's a big one. And plus when you combine that with like how good coercive tendency is too, like that's usually a guaranteed silver as well. And those turns can be really good when there's like a level of, I don't know if anybody else plays Huntsman like this, but there's a level of like when you're playing a deck that's slow enough, like when you get to do the mid-range thing, you condition your opponent, because your turns are so similar. And then all of a sudden you'll scar them psychically with a reaction.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, oh shit, now I have to play around that, right? Or they've checked your graveyard and seen that you've blocked with it. And then you're like sitting there and you have just Plunder the Poor and 2 cards in hand. And they're like, okay, what are these 2 cards? And they can't really figure it out. And they maybe like kind of block it with their last piece of armor and a card from hand, and they have no arsenal. And you coercive tendency, you go again, you banish a card, you get a silver, and then you play Codex. And now they only have 2 cards, and they got a thing, and you got your Leave No Witness back, and they don't have any armor, and they've lost all tempo. You know what I mean? And I don't know what my point was, but my point being is like that's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's very powerful.
That Huntsman can kind of get you in and like, or that's like part of the play pattern, right? Is kind of conditioning them in that way, So even if they do have the D-React to like cover up what they think is going to be cut to the chase or something like that, it's actually coercive and you just totally sidestep and play Codex and, but then maybe they still play their D-React, but you're still just stripping cards out of their hand. You know what I mean? So there's like that level of gameplay that can happen in Huntsman, which I find very satisfying.
Yeah, you're making me want to sleeve this up right now, Taylor. And like which is, cool. I'm excited. But so like what I'm gathering here, right? Like it's interesting, like something that I didn't even think about like what that hero needed, right? Was and it like silver engine to be better, because once the silver engine is better, those actual gameplay patterns are like they work the way they're intended, right? Because it feels like, we don't have for this here, we don't have a crown of silver minion or something like that. I don't know. Like, you don't just have
so you don't start with one.
You don't start with one, and it is, it's not like difficult, but like it is like it takes a minute to get there, and just like getting that engine going allows you to get that play pattern with coercive tendencies or shreds or whatever, and you're just like, holy smokes, this is really humming now, and it feels like the deck as it was intended to be, which is cool.
And it just is like, it allows you to threaten what you're supposed to be threatening without getting punished for it. You know what I mean? Because then your opponent, like if you don't have any silver and you've blocked with mask and you come in with a 0-for-4 contract, there's parts in some games where you have to just like break mask and make them have it, just so they kind of just like get rid of or like if they don't have it, then it just like helps you out get that silver or whatever. Some people might say you just never do that, but sometimes you just gotta. And when you have silver, enough of it, you can be much more aggressive with that threat of like, dude, your cards are leaving your deck unless you block this. But then the secret is they're leaving your deck anyway when you block. You know what I mean? So, and there's a level of like psychological damage that happens too, where you're like, I'll leave that on top. And then they're like, well, what card is that? How good is that card? Should I protect that card? Do I need that card? You know what I mean? Should I just let it go? Do I need, and people can get really, they love being attached to the cards in their deck that they haven't seen, because it could be anything. It could even be a boat. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And that deck is insane. I do really love it, and I'm going to ask you for your list later. You're going to send it.
Too bad it doesn't beat Riptide, though.
It certainly doesn't. And that's why I love the deck so much. I'm just trying. This is like all the psyops. I'm trying to build up this deck.
Yeah. This Arakni meta. So then, your power as a content creator. Yeah.
I never said I was ethical. But now, in terms, speaking of matchups, actually, that's what I wanted to hit next, and you just nailed it on the head. Like, you don't want to sit across Riptide, but like in reality, with the real meta, like what do you want to sit across from, and what don't you want to sit across from?
You can get there against Gravy. Gravy is definitely challenging, but you can get there. But it's pretty hard to do it in 55 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially if the Gravy doesn't know what's happening to them.
Yeah.
And they gotta like think, and they gotta do stuff, and you're just like, just literally play out your ally. I'm gonna block some of this, and I'm gonna kill your ally. Like there's nothing else that's going on here from my side. But you're doing just fine into Kasai. You want Kasai, actually. Predictable turn patterns, kind of lower damage ceiling. Graven Call, if they happen to get a little guy to hang out with, Graven Call kills that guy very cleanly. And you have a dagger that really takes away any of their armor blocks. So as soon as they use their armor at any point, it makes it really hard for them to get those last points of value off of them, because all of your daggers have piercing, and Scale Peeler just like nullifies the rest of them, and they run a lot of the same cards too. So Hunter Hunted can be really, really good. Really, really good, and you don't just like get buried in Value Town that they sometimes have. You know what I mean? You run enough D-reacts, etc. And you run enough reactions to where you're not like turning on their swords. So Kasai's pretty good. I feel pretty comfortable into Acilio as well. Just the fact that you get a look at the top card of their deck so often when you send a contract, right? You get a lot more, and that's like a big nuance in the deck in what would set Arakni players apart from other ones is how they deal with whatever that information is.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like the other night at Armory, I was like, okay, so I was playing against Cecilio, and I was like, okay, I'm going to bottom Sigil of Brilliance. And then the next time I played a contract, and they haven't pitched a card, I see another Sigil that doesn't block, or what are they? Those are Sigils.
Sigils, yeah.
That doesn't block. So I was like, well, I'll send that down now. That's 2 cards in a end of the game hand. And then they had to pitch a Sigil to Volzar or something. I was like, okay, so that's 3. You know what I mean? And so like all of a sudden I've crafted kind of this end bit of their deck that just doesn't block. You know what I mean? And if you can keep track of that, you're doing pretty good. And it's not like I can remember all of that for every single hero, and it's not important in all of them. But so Cilio's fine. I feel fine into KO too. If KO were to show up, we're doing okay there as well. I'm trying to think of it feels a little swingy. So if you can get any copies of their combo or Millennium Tree or any spells, it makes it I would say in your favor. Okay. You know what I mean? There's like some things you got to know how to play around, like, okay, do they have Felling in graveyard? Great. So if they have an open arsenal, you can't just play Codex because they're just going to go get Felling. You know what I mean? So you got to play it. You got to play Codex most of the time and get CNC, and they got to have an arsenal. So then you're just like pressuring that way. But that's just like taking cards out of their deck. So it's kind of hard to kill Verdance. You really have to like fatigue Verdance, if that makes sense. Yeah. And there's like a level of acceptance, radical acceptance you have to have that you're just going to help them get online too, you know? That's pretty challenging. So Verdance, it's not that bad. I would not say it's like overly favored, or I wouldn't even say it's like favored, but I wouldn't say you're unfavored in that matchup either.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Syndra is definitely one of your worst matchups, and so is Gravy. Really, those are pretty hard. And Marionette can be pretty tough, depending on like how the game goes. Like, how big is the dagger that they're gonna T-tox you with? Can you afford to not block it or not? You know what I mean? Do they get you with Codex of Inertia or not? You know, if like it feels pretty swingy. It feels kind of like how the Syndra matchup is sometimes, and maybe I need to practice it a bit more. But like the Syndra matchup can really go your way, where you put them in the blender, where all of a sudden they like kind of have to block, and then now they have 3 cards, and you've codexed them, and you know you're getting a lot of value off of your armor to block, and getting rid of cards, and the cards just go flying out of their deck, and you can then just kind of win the game that way. And the same thing can happen with Marionette, but then the opposite can happen in both of those matchups, where you're in the blender and you're trying to come up for air even, you know? So I don't really want to see that. Trying to think. I got to look at that document. I don't know why I can't think of them all. Oh, Dashio, please come on.
Oh yeah, just block.
Just block, watch them banish the cards for you. It's amazing. Yeah. It's so nice. It's a nice free matchup there, you know?
Yeah.
But so yeah, that's kind of what's going on there out of those top-ish heroes.
All right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it like with Syndra probably not being as much of an issue anymore. And I mean, Gravy is there, right? Like that's the big issue, but I like the way this sounds though. Like it's kind of shaping up to be a good time for Arakni Huntsman. Now I got one more question about Arakni Huntsman before we get to some listener questions.
Oh, great.
First, or before we do that, my question is: have you ever killed anybody with Regicide?
Technically, no. Technically, yes. I think my first round of Battle Hardened Sonoma, my opponent had cards in hand, but no cards in deck. and I can dagger Codex get Regicide and actually win the game because he still had so much health, but he just extended the fist there. But that's the winning line on that play.
All right. Yeah.
You
ever like dream of like getting up against like a Syndra or a Fang and just, like somehow go a little wide, and you had blocked with Regicide earlier, Codex, and they were like, oh no, I don't have any cards left. Kill you. I mean, that's pretty sick.
Yeah. I mean, absolutely. I wish there was more than Shred and Razor Reflex, or just like there was just a better kind of reaction that you could put on that, Yeah. But I guess then you could win turn 0. And I feel like we theorized about it, how to do it turn 0 against Syndra, and like the probability. I feel like I had this figured out leading up to Battle Hardened Sonoma, like what the combination of cards would have to be to get over, because they have so limited armor. You know what I mean? And what you would need to actually do it on turn 0. So, but I forget what it is now. I think it's like, I can't remember. But it was awesome.
Yeah, no. Well, it will happen one day. It will happen one day. Now, we got a couple listener questions. These come from the Buds Discord, which is, of course, in the show notes below, free for anybody to join. First one coming from another longtime Bud, also a California resident, Capolo. What do you think Wraith's main sport is, and who would be the champions?
How does Capolo come up with this shit? Every week, I listen every week, and Capolo has some sort of banger question every time. Is Capolo a bot?
Yeah. He refers to himself as the question bot on my other podcast.
Oh, nice. There you go. Yeah. He listens to that and types in questions as well?
Oh, yeah.
Dude,
he's
super
Mr.
fan.
Consistent.
You need to give him a t-shirt, okay? He's like a partner in the Flesh and Blood, Fresh and Buds empire. Okay, sport of Wraith, of all of Wraith?
Yeah, like what, like what's their equivalent of the World Cup where like, like everything's going crazy. I mean, I've been getting big into hurling lately. Have you ever watched this sport?
Wait, no.
No, it's like
what's hurling?
Hurling's an Irish sport. So if you ever heard the GAA, it's a lot of like Gaelic football, and hurling like is mostly what the association is. These like kind of like old Irish like native sports. Hurling is basically like, think lacrosse, but you got like almost like a field hockey stick that's like flat at the end that you're like running around, and then you gotta slap it into the uprights.
Yeah, you gotta slap it. Yeah, into the uprights. Yes, I know what that is. That is cool. I'm gonna guess, just based off of the Deathmatch Arena and the Empire of Solana, it's probably like dueling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what I don't think Wraith is like a team sport. Type of place, like they got their stars, and then so I'm guessing it's like sumo, right? Like how sumo is a big tournament, it's seasonal, you have ranks, leaderboard, but it's for like some sort of dueling with some sort of weapons. We'll have different categories of weapons as well: swords, axes, spears, pole arms. I guess we'll put that category in, flails, etc. Right? We got those going. That's what I'm gonna say.
I think that's fair.
One-on-one combat.
One-on-one combat. I like it. Although we do, I don't know if it's canon, but Reinar is playing golf in one thing.
See, exactly. They're not a team. It's not a team sport continent. It's a single sport or individual sport continent.
Yeah. Next, 2 questions come from Darth Prentice. I'm wearing a Darth Prentice hat right now, actually.
Hell yeah. Shout out to Darth Prentice, naked on Twitch the other day. Topless.
Shirtless. Yeah. Let's not. We don't know. We don't know.
You're right. We don't know. I'm just saying the camera could have been panned down a little bit more, or zoomed out a little bit. We could have seen a bit more of that beautiful, beautiful man.
You hear that, Greg? Get a GoPro. Let's get some fisheye going. You know.
Get a wide angle here, bud. Yeah. And make sure it's like really hot in the room too, so you just got a nice sheen on.
Nice, a glisten.
Yeah.
What's your favorite attack action?
Man, that's a hard question. My favorite attack action. What's my favorite attack action? It's definitely an assassin one. I'm gonna say probably surgical extraction. Like
Ooh.
that card is awesome.
Yeah.
And I probably would have said maybe leave no witness or eradicate, but I think in this era I'm in now, pitching surgical comes up late game. They're out of D reacts. They're out of armor. They got 4 cards in hand. You dagger surgical. They groan. You're like, hell yeah. I don't even need those cards out of your deck. What's coming out of the hand? And it's like got a storied history as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Short printed, was very expensive. Terrifying artwork.
Yeah.
Comes on a playmat for some reason. Jeez.
Some of the best artwork, I would say. That's a
Yeah.
great answer.
Thank you. Great question.
Now, another sports themed question from
Nice.
Darth Prentice now. Which Flesh and Blood heroes are the ultimate starting 5, and would they be able to beat the Dream Team?
The ultimate starting 5. Shit. I'm gonna have to go look at them all because this is a great question. Shout out to Greg. Shout out to Greg. It's hard because you got to go to there's no way to see all of the heroes in a great way. But we don't need young and old heroes. I'm vamping for time. Okay, so we're gonna need a point guard. Okay, so who's our point guard here? Well, I don't think there's anyone better at dishing the rock. Probably, I'm gonna say Phi Rising Rebellion's our point guard. He's a selfless person. He's there for his people, right? So his teammate is very loyal. We want that guy making the decisions there. We're gonna say, the center position, our guy or gal who protects the hoop. It's gotta be Tough Nut, tallest person in Wraith for sure. Probably great in a pick and roll, catches a lob. Yeah. Gonna be super good there. I think Azuri from downtown, right? I think you could pick a Azalea for that position, but Azalea doesn't have any defense. We need a 3-and-D player. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And stealth cards usually come in for 3.
Oh yeah.
And assassins block well. So Azuri is our 3-and-D there. Power forwards gotta be Valda, right? Valda for sure. Versatile too, right? Like not only is she gonna lock you up and get a bunch of rebounds, right? But she's gonna score some points for sure, and you're gonna feel it. Lastly, it's gotta be freaking Bolton, Sir Bolton, Breaker of Dawn, as our 2 guard. Maybe another just kind of 3-and-D guy. A lot of the freaking light warrior cards come in for 3, right? And he's got a fridge.
Yeah.
This is undefeated. It's an undefeatable squad here.
Interesting. All right. So who do you have? You have Tough Nut. You got Fang. You got Bolton. You got Azuri.
Phi.
Oh,
Phi,
no, not Fang. Phi.
Yep.
Azuri and then
Bolton.
who? Wait, Bolton,
Valda.
Azuri, and Valda. Okay. All right. Yeah.
All right. There's
I'm gonna pick 5 to play against your 5. We're gonna forget about the Dream Team. Obviously, these cast of characters can beat the Dream Team. Obviously.
Clearly.
Yeah. So point guard for me is Fang, actually. I kind of like, I mean, I think the Draconic, especially Royal, I think he's ready to take command. dish it out, right? I get it.
Okay, I like
Quick,
that. I like that.
just like Fi. I
Mm-hmm.
think your center, I don't know. I think I kind of want, I mean, it's got to be a brute, right? It's got to be Reinar, I think.
You know,
Here.
I almost went Jarl or an Oldhim also,
Oh,
right?
true.
You know,
Yeah, you know what? Let's throw Oldham in there. Actually, let's throw
okay.
Jarl in there. Oldham, listen. Yeah, you're retired. Let's throw Jarl in there. A little bit more intimidating. We'll bump Reinar out to like a power forward.
There you go. Got to put your boy in there.
Yeah. 3 and D though. I think golly. Well, maybe we just throw, you know what, Riptide? I don't know, like a little defense, a little bit, it's like you sit down at the table, you don't know if Riptide is going to be defensive or going to be aggro. You're just like,
Oh, that's true.
yeah,
That's true.
you're just like, and then I don't know. I think maybe. Oh man, this is actually tough. I named 4, right? I gotta get a 5th. Wait, I went Reinar, Jarl, Riptide, Fang.
Yeah, you need a 5th.
Need a 5th.
You need a
Completing
5th.
the 5th. Let me just look at the heroes real quick. Oh, I need
This
like
is tough.
a shooting guard, right?
Yeah. Man, I don't know. There's some good picks here, you know? Like, I feel like Max and Olympia are great athletes.
True. You
You
know
know what I
what?
mean?
Actually, I'm gonna go Dash IO as my shooting guard.
There you
And the
go.
reason is I'm thinking boom grenades. I'm thinking
Off the top,
just
baby.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, off the top, just like, just,
Whoosh.
heart of the cards just when you need her.
Hell
I
yeah.
still think you had the first pick of the draft there. And you know basketball a lot better than me. So we're going to give it to you. But
Tight. Thanks.
thanks for the questions, Greg and Capolo. Taylor,
Yes.
this has been fun. As always.
It has. As always.
I love chatting with you. You're honestly, I think I'm gonna say it. You're one of my best friends I've never met in person. Which
Dude,
is,
I feel the same way.
oh, this is just awesome. This is just big butt energy coming together.
I was so sad. I feel like on your podcast, I said I was coming to Philly and then
You
it
did.
did not work out. And I was like, man, I've let Tommy Fresh down
That's okay.
and this sucks. And it was a huge motivator for me to try to friggin' go. But if I had gone, it would have fucked up the whole new job. So,
Yeah. No.
you
Understandable.
know, so thank you for understanding. Sorry to break your heart and my heart. Just know it was hard for me too.
Well, maybe I'll try to make it to Vegas.
Come on, dude. You could have made it to Seattle. You're thinking about coming to Vegas.
Seattle was
Freaking
tough.
do
Seattle was
this.
tough. Vegas might be easier, but we'll see. Can you plug everything you'd like to plug though?
Oh, sure. I shouted out on my podcast, but shout out to this painting behind me of my dog Hilda that my girlfriend did. I friggin' love it that it's back here now, hanging out. And then real Hilda is over here on this couch. And it's just, I love my dog, you know. Shout out to my dog. Shout out to my girlfriend. Yeah, so at this point, I feel like this is my 5th or 6th time on this podcast. But if you're new and you like what I had to say, then you can go listen to it or watch it, a lot of it, at the Attack Action Podcast. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. You could get us through any sort of podcast application, and listen to us there. We do 2 episodes a month, but you get 4 hours of listening time. They're 2 hours long each, so you get an hour a week. If you binge that all at once every week, that's on you. It's a crazy rainstorm outside. It must be hailing. That threw me off. You can follow me on Blue Sky. I think I'm Taylor AAP on Blue Sky. Same name, I think. If you wind up queuing against me, I'm either playing my boy Florian, hashtag loyal to the soil, or Arakni Huntsman. So yeah, I guess that's it. Those are the best places to follow me. Sometimes I lurk on the Assassin Discord and post every once in a while.
Ooh.
So I'm on there. I'm around. I'm around. Join my Patreon. It's great.
There is.
There you go.
Please do check everything out over there. I love everybody over there at the Attack Action Podcast, including Taylor. And
would you say we're kind of like sister shows?
I would say so.
Yeah.
Like I
Like
truly mean it. You know, this show
Yeah.
would be nothing without you. The Falcon of the West.
You've certainly helped out our show as well. In a world where we pool our resources together and start a podcast media empire, we certainly would be on the same label for sure.
Oh, sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and we're all going to move to like somewhere in between the West and East Coast, St. Louis or something. Who knows?
Denver, who knows?
Denver. And that's where our studio is going to be. It's going to be pretty sick. You all can find me. I was thinking, do I have to plug? Yes. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. It all helps. It's a cool free way to help out the show. If you're on Spotify, you can rate. You can actually comment on Spotify now, which is pretty cool as well. And we're on all social or on all the other platforms too. And then Bud's Discord, show note, all in the Linktree. Blue Sky at freshbudspod. And then Fresh Juice is the indie game podcast I do with my cousin every week. This week, we're playing a game called Dune Crawl. Next week we're playing a game called Dune Crawl. Next week we're playing a game called Dune Crawl. And it's a co-op, open world, fun little game. So we'll see. Do I like it? Tune in and find out. And then Patreon, I do a bonus episode every week. And it's good fun. It's just me. It's a solo show. And you get to listen to some craziness. Are you raising your hand?
Yeah, I have a quick question. I know you're trying to outro here.
Yes.
Me. Thank you for calling on me. Are you a Pokemon guy, Tommy?
That's a complicated question.
Okay. Are you a video game Pokemon guy?
I am the first 3 generations of video games Pokemon guy. Currently playing a really good gold and silver mod. I guess it might be an emerald mod called Pokemon Lazarus. It's like so cool.
See, this is what I was going to ask you about. If you were into the Pokemon ROM hacks, this is the thing that's come across my desk. And I'm like, should this be what I do with my free time? Is play fan-made hacks of Pokemon games?
I would say Pokemon Lazarus is the best one I've played so far.
Is that the one in Greece?
Yeah, it's somewhat kind of Greece themed. Like, yeah, you see like the Athens thingy.
Cool.
But a lot of like quality of life stuff updated, and like every Pokemon potentially can be competitive, like or like viable in your team, which is cool. So you don't have to be like, this one sucks. Yeah, and then also like if you lose against like a gym leader, you come back. They have all different Pokemon except for their ace, which is cool.
Whoa, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's the new guy I'm going to be in 2026. Pokemon ROM hack guy with my little emulator device. Okay.
Amazing. I love that.
Amazing. Thank you.
I love them. Now, food. Taylor, I always like to end on food. What are you eating these days?
Well, certainly food. Let's see. What's like the most notable thing I've had recently? Shit, man, I'm just really okay. So for Christmas Eve, watched all of the Lord of the Rings extended editions, which is crazy. Yeah, it is. This is why I'm with this woman. This was her idea to do that with the addition of Hobbit meal times. So we had 6 meals during the whole day. So we did like scones and jam. We did roast chicken and vegetables. We did soup and sandwiches, etc. We did a whole egg and potato breakfast. It was amazing. And as a co-host of mine and friend of everybody, Zane said, a Herculean feat.
Yeah.
Hours of movie and 6 meals in one day,
that's pretty good. But it's the end of the show. It's the end of the show anyway. And we don't have time for Charmer, but I'm sure we'll get to him at some point. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Stay fresh.